Well, hello again, and welcome to Life Changing Finish Lines. I'm your host, Steve Tomboni, coach, race director, and fellow athlete. This is entitled Sleeping the Night Before a Race. Huge deal, right? And this is what I call the no worries plan. So again, just background again real quick, done this for athletics for 50 plus years. Endurance World for 30 plus years. A great example is first time I did the Muncie Endurathon, I went to sleep finally fell asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and tied for the worst race in the worst athletic event of my entire life. So the no sleep the night before race was awful. Again, what I did after that race was I listed all the dumb stuff that I did and what I did wrong. And what I did right, let's be honest, folks, it was this. All I did right was I showed up, I registered, I finished. The list was so long of the stuff I did wrong, it wasn't even funny. And the big one was I had a terrible night sleep the night before. So one of the things that as we get into the no worries plan is I think you need to kind of take a step back here in some of this stuff and realize that your race day has an awful lot to do with your attitude and the way you're going to look at things when it comes to race day. And I can tell you that the spiritual part of this is hugely important because we know in Hebrews 12, 1 and 2 that God has this, that God already has your race. And so again, you're going to find that out on race day and you're going to get through it. So and we'll talk about this in a whole nother video, but my 3 Ps, which is prayer, passion, and planning. There's no such thing as luck. There's no luck involved in having a goal and reaching that goal. There's no such luck as, there's no bad luck having everything lined up and having a really bad day. If you just say it's chalk it up to bad luck, you miss the planning part, the passion part, or the prayer part, period, that's it. So again, a lot of this starts with your preparation. And one of the things that I always stress to the athletes I've coached now since 1997, and be honestly, even before that, is preparation. It's hugely important to do the work and to have a plan and to work your plan, work with your coach, work with your teammates, and all that sort of stuff. And I'll tell you why here in just a minute. Because if you don't work the plan, if you don't have the distance in, I don't give a darn what you're doing a 5K, you're walking a 5K, you're hiking the Appalachian Trail, I don't care. Doing a half Ironman, full Ironman, doesn't matter. You got to do the work and you got to have a plan, and we'll talk about that. And so the part of the essence of this is, yes, you've had that plan for 6 months, for a year, and you've worked your plan. But you also have to work, as we talked before in the previous video about how to get ready for your race season, is you've practiced this night before a race number of times already before the big A race of each year. And there's no substitute for practicing this plan, even for your first 5K of the season, even if your A race is a half Ironman or a full marathon or Leadville 100. I don't care. So practicing this stuff beforehand for a sprint triathlon, 2 sprint triathlons, whatever, is a huge deal, because then you're going to write your stuff down or put it in your phone or whatever the heck you're going to do, or look at your Garmin or all that stuff. And you're going to know what's going on and how you worked those 5 races or so. And we'll talk about that too. It's really important to have close-up races that test your mettle, that test all those things the night before, the gear, the food, the whole shoot match in a little bit shorter distance, so that when you get to that A race, and let's say your A race, and this is part of the 70.3 series, so your A race is a half Ironman triathlon, 70.3. Folks, if you haven't practiced this in 2 sprints, 2 ollies, and a half marathon before the A race, it's your 70.3, shame on you. It's going to be ugly. That's part of the preparation part, right? So, now let's get into race week. And so race week should be looking typical to all the other race weeks that you move up to this, right? Particularly if you've done a half marathon, you've done the tapers, you've done the food, that sorts of things. But you also want to think about, for me, if my race is on a Saturday, I know that Thursday night, I got to get a really good night's sleep. And so take some of what I'm about to tell you and apply that to Thursday night so that if something happens on Friday, you at least have a fallback that you got a really good 7, 8, 9, 10 hour on Thursday, and nobody ever can predict what's going to happen on Friday before a race. Who knows, right? But start thinking about that on race week. So Thursday night's when kind of this sort of thing starts, right? With the drinking and the eating right and all that. Again, the eating part of this, you should already have a plan based on what you've done that first part of the year, and you already know what sits in your stomach, and you already know all that stuff. That is a given in the no worries sleeping plan, is you know what to eat. Checklist. Okay. Y'all know me. The checklist is a really big deal. And we'll talk about, you should have already had a checklist you've used for the 5 races before, the 5 years before, the 10 years before. The checklist just gets added to and adjusted and, yada, yada. You're going to bring an extra helmet. You're going to bring an extra pair of shoes. You're going to bring food. But the checklist is a really big deal. My dad was in the Navy. I'm a military historian. And so I kind of look at this as the green board in the submariner world. The green board is good and the boat can go down and the submarine's not going to sink. In my world, it was always the red board. I had my checklist typed out and I had little red checks. And I couldn't go to bed unless I looked at that checklist and saw that it was completely red. Everything was ready to go. So that's what I call the red board. And again, what you're trying to do here, right, is the peace of mind part of this to know you're ready. You've listened to your body. We're going to have a whole video on listening to your body and who can help you with that. But, you've got to be ready to do this. Your checklist is ready. Your packing is ready. I go as far as packing everything the night before. I'm not kidding. I will have for me, it was oatmeal. It was always oatmeal. I have my oatmeal sitting in the microwave. I have my coffee sitting next to it. I'm making the oatmeal first, getting it so it cools down. I make my cup of coffee. I have 2 bottles of water sitting there. I have all the things I put on my oatmeal. Peanut butter, blueberries, whatever I'm doing. It's all ready to go. I literally put the keys in the seat. I already have the wallet in there. My registration page. All I literally have to do is dress, shower, do all that kind of stuff. Eat my food, get in the car, sit, the bike's there, the pump, everything. The checklist is done. I'm just that kind of person. I don't want to have to mess around. And again, part of this is you're trying to relax, right? So again, and we'll get into the night of, but you've got to relax to get ready for this thing. So one of the things I do the day before a race is obviously I have my training plan that I'm, because I usually taper, do almost nothing the day before 70.3, but do some yoga, put my feet up, do the leg drains. What I call yoga 1 is leg drain. Eat, drink, go to the expo, see a bunch of cool people, have some fun. I'm eating dinner at breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a certain time. We'll get into that. And I'm relaxing. I'm meditating. But what I'm also doing is I like to look back at my training log. Hey, look, folks, this race is in September. Let's just use this as an example. And I'm looking at January. Hey, I ran 8 miles every Thursday this whole year. I never missed a Thursday. Wow. I've biked 940s, 450s, and 660s, and 180 before this race. I'm good to go. My weight is really good. I've been to the massage therapist the number of times I was supposed to. Again, we'll talk into the 75% rule at some point in another. There is a 75% rule here. But I think I'm really ready because I feel confident. Hey, look, that sprint in June was $1:19, and I did that same race 3 weeks ago, and it was $1:10. Wow, I improved 9 minutes. there's some ways to do that and you know, sort of thing. But I improved 9 minutes from June to, let's say, August 15th. Wow, I feel great about that. So I'm going to look at that training log as an affirmation that I'm prepared. So, you know, again, there's some tricks here. Sitting down the day before the race and visualizing. And I literally start with, I'm in the truck. It's 4:20 in the morning. I want to be there at 5:20, whatever. I'm a really early person. We'll talk about that. But I visualize on Friday my breakfast, my relaxation, my drinking, whose friends I'm going to see, what music I'm going to listen to. I do that too. I love to just have the headphones in some of the time on race morning, but I want to feed off the energy of all those amazing friends and all those amazing people. Try to meet a couple of newbies, get them fired up, give them some confidence. But I'm visualizing on Friday how the swim's going to go, how T1's going to go, how the gear's going to work, how the bike's going to feel, what my focus is on the bike, what my T2 is going to be. I mean, on and on and on, all the way up to I'm coming up towards the finish line and I feel like $1 million and my goal time is X. Okay, and I'm coming down and I can see that clock right in front of me, right? As I'm coming up that, and it's 42 seconds off my PR and I got 60 meters to go. And I'm like, yes. So visualization is a really big deal. And again, I don't care if you're doing a 5K, but visualization the day before is a big deal. Another thing that I really like to do is get out there and see the venue. So I'm a really big reconnoiter. I mean, you know, the military guy in me, right? The military historian in me wants to get out there. I'm going to ride that course. I'm going to run that course. I'm going to swim that lake. I'm going to see where my bike goes. I love packet pickup at the venue because then I can get out there and I can feel the energy and see what's out there and make sure I know T1 is from here to here and mounting the bike is here and dismounting is here. And if I've already got mine in America Multisport, we always did assigned bike number. So I know where my bike number is. I know where my bike placement is. You know, what's the ground feel like? I mean, all that Sun Tzu art of war, because kind of sort of it's you against yourself and you against the clock and you against the terrain. But I want to feel the grass. I want to feel the sand. I want to see where the sunlight is. I love to get out at a venue the weekend before. So if the races starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, I'm out there the weekend before at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and I'm seeing what it looks like out there, right? Excuse me. So being at the venue before is a really big deal. Another really big key is confidence. So that's where I go back and I start thinking about my training log. And I think that I've been out to this race and I've reconnoitered the course. And so confidence is a really big deal as you head towards, now let's talk about Friday night before the race. You're confident, you've eaten your dinner, you've done the checklist, everything's packed. I typically pack my entire vehicle before I even eat dinner. So I'm literally just easing into that Friday night, right? Everything's good. So some keys here. Make sure you shut down all your electronics. They're not even in the room with you. If you need a battery operated, old timey, alarm clock, use that. Get all the electronics out there so it doesn't buzz, it doesn't whistle, it doesn't hum, it doesn't do shit. Get it out of there. Shutting down all the electronics is the number one problem with a lot of people in today's world because they're just so glued to their phone. And we can talk about the alarm and how to get up and all that stuff. Food and drink the night before, right? You've already practiced this, you already know. Don't start drinking silly stuff at 9:30 at night. Have a specific bedtime. If you want to do a little yoga, maybe put your feet up, a little meditation. Hey, there might be a movie that's really inspiring. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can't tell you how many times I've watched the 96 World Championships video that I was the race director of the night before a race because I'm just so excited. But I'm trying to then, and that's a little early, maybe an hour before I'm going to bed, so I'm just relaxing, right? Set up the room atmosphere. I always have, it's dark, there's a fan going, everybody knows that I really don't want to be interrupted anytime that night. Take a hot shower. I always take a hot shower right before. Some of the times I use like a foot massage machine, but I love to have my feet massaged the night before race. And that's just a really reflexology kind of way to ease into this. You know, I'll do the rollers because I kind of want to wash my body out and I want to relax. At some point we'll talk about massage in a different video, but I typically get a massage the Thursday before race. So Friday I've tapered, I'm not doing anything. Thursday I got my massage on. Super chill going into to Friday night. So have one alarm as a backup, maybe your phone in another room as a backup alarm, and somebody coming to get you. And if you all don't know me by now, I am typically the first person at a race. Why is that? I want to be the first person there because I want to absorb all the energy I can from all those amazing people that are getting there. Amazing from the sky, from the venue. I want to feel what it feels like. I want to know the humidity, and I want to set up my bike. I want to do all my practice stuff. I love to prime the pump. So I'm swimming first, biking second, running third, yoga, but I want plenty of time. At this point, if I get out of bed every day at 4 to get ready to train, there's no reason why I'm not out of bed at 5 or 4 and at the venue at 6 or 7, right? So I'm early. I love being early because I love to be ready to go. Again, we talked about once you're up out of bed, you're going to shower, you're going to do your thing, you're going to put lotion where it needs lotion and all that fun stuff, and you've already talked about your breakfast. Get it in, get it out, do your thing, do the Constitution. Everybody likes their own Constitution. We already know what that means, right? Before I even leave the house, because I'm not messing with standing in a Porta-John line. They don't have toilet paper. By the way, I bring my own toilet paper, just in case y'all didn't know that. It's a Boy Scout in me, right? Sorry. But I don't want to do that there. I don't want to have to use a Porta-John for anything else but the single digit item. So no, I'm done before we even leave. So again, now we've had this race, right? That doesn't mean that you're still not learning. You're going to race the rest of your life. So after the race is over, take that checklist of what you did and what this video, if you want to take notes of it, and how'd it go? Hey, did I wake up at 9:30 and 10:30 and 11:30 and had a lousy night's sleep and maybe I need to do something different? Or everything you did was totally perfect. You woke up at 4:20 in the morning, felt like $1 million and you PR'd. Okay, well now we're going to stay with that plan because that plan worked. So take some notes. There's something else that I always do too, and that is I come up with one word. And it can be anything you want it to be, but there's a mantra out here. There's a mantra of relax. There's a mantra of cool the jets. I did that at one race because I realized I was just over cranking the bike like nobody's business. So I listened to the Cool the Engines, Cool the Jets by Boston. And so I played that song right before the race because I knew I had to stop stressing on the bike and trying to go 23 miles an hour and be settled with 21.7 and get off the bike and feel better than I'm going to die. So find the mantra. I really like to do that. Again, this is called the no worries plan. So by doing this, you're trying to cut down on any worry you have laying there at your prescribed bedtime. 10:30, get up at 4:30, 9:30, get up at 5, whatever that number ends up being. This is going to be really critical if you're not at your own home, right? Lots of folks travel. The travel industry loves endurance athletes because we spend money and we go all kinds of places, and event tourism, vacations are a really big thing. So if you're doing this in a hotel room, you better have a plan. And I mean, listen, I bring my own alarm clock, I bring my own fan, I bring my own food. I mean, a little quirk is I don't put my bike anywhere else but my bedroom when I'm out of town because my bike goes with me. It's just a quirk of myself. I've seen some friends get their bikes stolen the night before a race, and yes, that's happened. And yeah, I'm not doing that. My bike is set up for me and it's perfect, and we're not doing that. So have a plan. Again, as you already know, without a plan, you plan to fail. Adjust, relax, have a good race, because look, being dead dog tired the morning of an event, folks, I just told you at the beginning of this, I've done it. and it was a trip to the medical tent and 3 IVs later. That sucks. So enjoy, have a good time. Again, your coach should be able to help you with this through Life Changing Finish Lines. Check us out on Facebook and the web. Enjoy.